Investigating the Challenger disaster was itself questioned today by a Senate panel also trying to find out what went wrong. Today's Senate hearings came amid reports that before the launch, NASA officials and engineers from Morton Thiokol, the company that built the booster rockets, had disagreed on whether the shuttle should be launched when it was, disagreeing particularly on the effect of cold weather. Here's ABC's Lynn Scher.
NASA officials were at first reluctant to discuss details about the decision to launch Challenger. But under persistent questioning by Senator Ernest Hollings, Dr. William Graham said that he had no evidence Morton Thiokol had advised against liftoff.
Is there any evidence to support that report?
No, Senator. The evidence is in the other direction.
Later, they conceded the rocket maker had concerns, but signed off.
But the final product, as I understand it, was a data fax piece of paper which had the signature on it that Thiokol supported the launch.
But ABC News has learned from a source close to the investigation that Alan McDonald, Morton Thiokol's top engineer at the launch site, objected strongly to the launch on technical grounds because of the cold temperatures. He's said to have conveyed his concern to NASA's Lawrence Malloy, but it's not clear whether Malloy relayed his concern to higher-ups in NASA. The effect of the cold weather on the booster segments is one of the areas being investigated. And ABC News has also learned that NASA technicians are currently looking into the possibility that the dark puff of smoke visible just half a second after the rockets were ignited may indicate a problem with the putty used to seal the rocket segments. It is designed to fill the gap between the hot rocket gas and the O-ring seals. Sources say it may have had a material defect, or it may have been laid incorrectly, or it may have fallen apart in the cold. And at today's hearings, NASA acknowledged a potential problem.
That we may have had some cracking of the putty, but we don't know that for a fact.
It's already known that shortly before the launch, infrared sensors took abnormally low readings of 7 and 9 degrees from the right solid rocket booster. NASA's currently questioning the reliability of the sensors. And today, Shuttle Director Jess Moore said the lowest temperature allowed for launch, 31 degrees, as ABC News reported earlier, used to be 3 degrees colder. Earlier, former astronaut Neil Armstrong, vice chair of the Presidential Commission investigating the accident, refused to pinpoint what they believe caused the accident.
No, sir, we have not concluded that a specific failure was the cause.
His boss, William Rogers, elaborated for the first time on his dramatic weekend announcement that the decision-making process to launch Challenger may have been flawed.
We have not said that the decision was flawed. We said the process may have been flawed, and we base that on testimony that we've taken in executive session.
And while this was Rogers' day to answer questions, some of the same ones he's been asking shuttle managers, he used his position as head of a presidential commission to resist efforts from senators that he share the facts the panel is finding immediately.
Flight safety.
Well, Senator, we are not going to make any conclusions of that kind now. We have just been in operation for 12 days, and I think it's unfair to keep asking us to draw that kind of conclusion.
Chairman Slade Gorton said the questions they were asking would have to be answered. But for the moment, the primary responsibility for finding out what happened to Challenger belongs to the Presidential Commission. Lynn Scher, ABC News, Washington.